What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be doing a quick guide for the Book of War item that we were just given for Goku, Gohan, and Goten Day here. Actually, there are a few that we're going to be able to get. We'll take a look at the missions and stuff for the current celebration at the very end of the video, just so that you guys know how to collect all the possible Book of Wars that you can get. If you are trying to get the total number you can. I think it's like 3 or something like that, but we will double check. So the first thing that I have to get out of the way and say here is that all of these units suck. These units are all horrible. They are all completely old, outdated, just trash banner units. There is virtually no use in any of these characters. So that being considered, since none of these I can actually recommend to be like a usable unit on a team, we are going to go on the basis of if there is some type of usability in current Dokkan for any of these characters. And then, you know, that's basically how I'm making the judgments here. But yeah, I think for most people, honestly, your best bet is probably going to be the Elder Kai. I guess unless you're a completionist, which I figure those type of people aren't usually watching these videos, because if you're somebody that just wants to have every unit, then you're probably not taking my advice about what units are good or bad. You're probably just hunting for the units you don't have yet, right? So, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm doing, right? Like, I already have all these characters rainbowed, but there are a few of them that I don't have an SSR copy for yet. I believe this guy. So this is probably who I'm going to be focusing on with my Book of Wars so that I can get his SSR done too. So yeah, there aren't very many units that I have open here because they're, you know, like I said, most of them are pretty useless. I thought about even, you know, potentially suggesting certain units that you pick up because they'd be a good idea to have as an Elder Kai. For instance, like the Super Saiyan Gokus, because there's so many different Super Saiyan Gokus in the game. To be able to use a super attack fodder for a different character with the same name. But that doesn't even matter because you could literally just get an Elder Kai in their place. So obviously that would be the better choice. Yeah, okay, so the first units that I have suggested here is the physical Super Saiyan Goku. This guy is going to have a little bit of usability just because the great chance of stunning. So there's a 70% chance to stun the enemy. That is an ability that should absolutely never be slept on. You know, granted, in most of the most difficult content nowadays, obviously, like, all those big bosses do nullify all of those kind of abilities because, obviously, if you were able to just stun every red zone boss, then there you go. Now no one would ever take damage. You just bring stunning teams with units like this who are completely crap and would get, you know, shit on in the red zone, and then, you know, could actually like do a lot of work. So yeah, unfortunately you can't use them there, but any place that you can stun the enemies, then this guy is going to work out really well for you. And, you know, the main place is Super Battle Road, obviously. But then there are, you know, those random select other locations where you'd be like, maybe there is some stunning, you know, some type of use for random stunning units. For instance, like in Ultimate Clash, this is one that comes to mind. When you're in level 3 of the current Ultimate Clash that's going on, you know, versus Broly as the boss, there is a Super Boo fight. And in that Super Boo fight, you can actually stun him, and he hits you really hard and he heals a bunch of HP. But if you stun him, that's the best way to go about it, because then he can no longer get off his healing mechanic. And it's a lot easier to take that guy down. I have actually used this very Goku in that fight before when the Boo was Int type, and then I had to use a physical team. So, yeah, things to keep in mind. That stunning is definitely good here. And then it's also impressive because of how old this unit is. Let's see, he got his EZA in 2020. This is kind of the beginning of the era of units having a bunch of different stuff in their passive that allows them to bypass the hidden potential system and do, you know, critical hits and things like that without just having to, you know, use your hidden potential system for those things. So that is kind of nice because, you know, he's got the stunning and he's got the crits built in, so you just throw a ton of additional on him and then he's good to go, right? Okay, so that is it for that unit. But yeah, so I decided to pull this up too. This right here, which you're looking at, is every single unit in the game that has a base kit, unrestricted, 70% chance to stun. This is every single unit in the game. It's a very, very small amount. That's why I pointed this guy out and said, like, I think that it would be a really good idea to pick him up, because that is a rare find. That is definitely not something that you wouldn't want to take advantage of. But yeah, think about how a lot of these other units perform, right? Between, like, Jocko here, Pan, well, this Frieza's only the... this is the transforming Frieza, and it's the final form of it, right? Same thing with the Goku here. And obviously, like, you're never going to see these units. Same with this Gotenks, like, you pretty much never see this unit. Ice and Nova isn't even on global yet, and they're terrible once they get here. And then these are irrelevant as well, right? So it's like so few units. But yeah, anytime you have used a 70% chance to stun unit, usually they perform pretty well. So, okay, enough about that guy. Okay, so then we have the Tech Kaioken Goku here. The only reason I brought him along for the discussion is because he has infinite stat raises. And I suppose that can always be useful if you haven't completed all of the Legendary Goku event missions or the Legendary Vegeta event missions. Then he could be used there, because that is an example of a long-form event that is very easy at the beginning and gets more difficult. Some of the Infinite Dragon Ball History stages can be, beaten the same way, because they tend to be a little easier at the beginning and then harder later on. That's not always true for those, but for some of the earlier ones it was, I believe. But yeah, so, infinite stat raises basically means, in some fashion, this guy does have potential to be amazing, because even if turn 1, he looks like crap, if you give him enough turns, enough additional super attacks and stuff, eventually he'll start to look decent. So, yeah, and I think with his, he has been easy aid here, so his stats should be decent enough here to kind of keep up, only in a long form event, for sure, right? And he does have some decent links here, too. All in the Family is mainly one that I'm thinking about. Is 20% defense, so... yeah, and he's on a lot of categories, too. So, could be decent. Okay, so the Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan. Pretty much the only reason he's here is this. He's 2 key, 35% attack and defense to all allies. That's a rare thing to find. Definitely a decent support. Obviously, the unit himself is not very good. But he does greatly raise attack and defense on Super, so that's going to help him out defensively for sure. And then he also has a medium chance of evading if you throw him as the third attacker in battle. Oh, wow, interesting. He has this mechanic too. I thought that was something newer that they were adding for units like Yajirobe and the World Tournament Tech Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. The youth one, not the teen one here. Yeah, but it appears that super old units have this too, so interesting. But yeah, so he's got some usability, I suppose. But basically, if he gets hit, he's probably going to get hit pretty hard. You can assume that. 10,000 I mean, his defense is decently high too. Yeah, I don't know. This guy would probably defend better than you'd think he would. That's what I'll say for sure. Okay, so this Giant Ape Youth Goku is actually somewhat decent. Pretty straightforward kit. It's all stats. It's all just attack and defense. He is also an infinite stat raiser. And he has Saiyan Roar, which is amazing. So you could throw him on a team with the Super Saiyan 4s on like a Giant 8 power team, or a I don't know, what else would you run him on? Like a Kamehameha team maybe, or a Goku's family team even. Giant 8, or I said Giant 8 power. What's the other one I'm thinking? Pure Saiyans would probably be a good spot for him. So yeah, he's got some usability. He's not amazing or anything. But just being that giant form is definitely good. Especially if he does proc his giant form transformation, just because of how those operate. Remember, when you go giant form and then you defuse back to your normal self, and you go back to normal gameplay, you are still on the same turn number that you were the entire time during your transformation, so all of the enemy's effects and stuff will have worn off by then. Meaning, like, their ability to super attack. If the boss can super attack once per turn, they super attack you while you're giant form, you defuse, they still cannot super attack for the remainder of that whole turn until the following turn. So that could be huge in like a red zone. If he shows up turn 1 of the red zone, transforms for you, tanks a bunch of super attacks because he's in giant form, and then defuses, and now you have a free turn of damage where you know you're not going to die because you're not going to get blasted with a super. It's possible, right? So definitely is somewhat usable. The other big reason why he's here is because the chain battle that is currently live, which is absolute hell. It is the worst chain battle that has ever been brought to Dokkan, because all of the units that you need for it are either brand new or extremely old, like tucked away World Tournament units that are just really, really hard to find. So most people are struggling with this one, but this is actually one of the best units you can use on your support lineups. Youth Gokus are what you want for sure. So, yeah, if you need help with the chain battle that's going on right now, here you go. Pick up copies of this guy. And then what you could even do, actually, is use 2 of your Book of Wars to get a TUR copy for him and an SSR copy, because they're both actually decent for your chain battle lineup. So that could be something, if you feel like messing around with it. It helps out your friends, and it'll, get your support lineups used more often, because there's so few people that have good support lineups. Having both of these guys on your support lineups would definitely get you some extra emblems of cooperation. Because remember, you do get 10 every time someone uses your support lineups, and then an additional 2 if they send you a nice afterward. But they do have to be on your friends list in order to send you the nice, so... But yeah, so very, very, this is probably, honestly, I think the best unit, just because of the chain battle. Because if you multiply, like, the unit itself, plus the rewards you can have access to by applying him to your chain battle setup, then, like, it seems like a good idea to me. I could even see this guy being an attacker. He's not, like, one of the best attackers that you could use, but... I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that won't have most of the other units that you could use as a decent attacker besides this guy. So, yeah. Chain battle tips. Okay, so then we've got the Super Saiyan Goten. The only reason why I suggested him is this. I will never pass up on a 40% support. Anytime there's a 40% support around, I always make sure to include them in the list. Because, yeah, that's just too good, right? And then, namely because it's Gifted Warriors, 40% support. That is relevant, because if we go ahead and take a look at the Gifted Warriors category, it's kind of a sleeper category at the moment. It was kind of bad for a long time. It was basically just like, okay, run all the Vegetas, and then when you run out of good Vegetas, the category's shit. But not anymore. This category is looking up. So first of all, we just got an amazing leader for it. So now it actually has a leader, and the category can be run, because, let's be honest, you're not going to run Goten and Trunks. So yeah, now we have an official leader for the category. I mean, hello, look at all 3 of these guys. They're 3 of the best LRs, or 3 of the best units in the game right now. You also have the World Tournament Piccolo, which I guess this guy isn't as relevant because there's no Kid Gohans on the category to be able to maximize his effectiveness. But he is still there. You've got Majin Vegeta here, right? Like, what else do we have? Oh yeah, STR Piccolo, hello. Yeah, some quite good options. I suppose Tech Caulifla, if you needed to. Oh, the EZA Piccolo. That's literally the best EZA TUR in the game right now. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, Super Saiyan Broly, like, need I say more? This category is just actually really, really good at this point. Oh, here you go. Yeah, and the Golden Friezas. There you go. Seals the deal. Case in point. Enough said. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as all these Book of War characters go. I quickly glanced through the kits of all of these characters, and I just didn't find anything really too useful or impressive from any of the other characters here. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you. I did say we were going to go take a look at the missions. Let me make a cut so I can find that page. 1 second. All right, so here we have the 5-9-day special missions. So there are 3 different missions in here to earn the one individual Book of War 3 different times. So the first mission, you just have to clear a stage with 59,000 Zenny acquired. Super simple. Go link level real quick. It'll pop immediately for you. That's definitely not hard. And once you do like all your daily stages, or hit the B-Pan event once, you'll have plenty, right? Or worst comes to worst, you could always do the Hercule Zenny stage. You'll definitely get it. Okay, deal more than 5 million damage. If you need to, go in and nuke in the punching machine, and you'll be able to get that easy. Otherwise, you could probably just use any, like, modern day Dokkan Fest unit on a 200% team, and then you'll probably get it pretty easily too. And then you also have to level up any super attack once. Also, very, very easy to do. You're probably going to have to choose to do this one on purpose, whereas I assume the other two are just going to happen automatically. But yeah, those are super easy missions to do, so they always do that for when they're giving out good things like this that they want everyone to have access to, right? Even returning players who are just coming back for a hype celebration. So yeah, 3 Book of Wars, so you're going to be able to get a total of 3 of these, and it looks like you have until the 30th to complete these missions. So best of luck, and that is going to do it for this one. I will catch you guys next time. Peace!